Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics.
Thanks for being here on the show, Carolina Insider, and having a great time talking Tar Heels with you today. We've talked a bunch of men's basketball. Let's change gears. Let's head over to football, as the season, of course, is over, but that does not mean that things slow down. In fact, gosh, this time period has gotten so busy around college football with recruiting and transfers and NIL and so many different things now in the landscape of college athletics and specifically college football. Mack Brown met with the media earlier this week to talk about all of those topics.
It's hard with the NIL opportunities that are out there. A lot of the people that are leaving schools have a deal set up before they ever leave. So I would text Pat and say, "What about this one?" He said, "Coach, he's way gone, man." And that one, he's expensive. So for us to be able to get this quality of group that can get in school here, which is very difficult too, and especially the undergraduates. These guys have to have really good grades to be able to get in. So as we're learning this process, we had 5 last year, and all 5 played. 2 of them undergraduates and 3 of them graduates. Two of them were, one of them was captain. I guess Noah wasn't. He was on the leadership committee and might have been captain if he hadn't gotten hurt. But Corey Gaynor being voted to captain was a real help to our team. So we feel like that we've got a good group coming back, and this group will even enhance that. And then we've got 10 more coming in June. So that's a lot of change on your team that you feel like can help you for next year.
Did just a couple of years ago.
We have our priorities. We have priorities for June. If something pops up that we would need, we would still take. You have to look at your priorities compared to your numbers. We may have some guys leave after spring practice. So do you hold those spots for high school guys the next year, or do you find the right guy in the portal in June? But it is different, and what we feel like we need to do now is it's more like free agency. You need to address immediate needs, and you need to address depth, because you're losing some guys too as you gain some guys. And we're I do think in talking to the staff and talking to the guys that were in the portal for the reason that they wanted to play more, it was great for us to let them play in the bowl game. They all practiced hard, they played hard, they left here with a really good taste in their mouth. So if somebody's leaving because they're mad, if somebody's going to the NFL, they wouldn't play anyway in the bowl. But if someone's here and they're leaving because they want more playing time, I totally understand that. It's fair, as hard as they work, then we're going to work with them to try to help them any way we can. Special teams, this year, I bet we had, Pat, 5 walk-ons starting on special teams in the bowl game. So we need depth. And instead of just a starter, a guy that may share starting time, but all these guys have the ability to start. And we feel good about that. So, but if you have to look at your immediate needs for spring practice. I think we'll start seeing some people not have a spring game, because you get people hurt. You got numbers that won't be here till June. You don't want to play all your older starters because they may get hurt, and you have to stay out there too long. So I think you'll see more like Georgia Tech, Pat said, had a little scrimmage and then had a practice. I think you'll see more of that than just spring games for the future. These guys get 100 calls as soon as they go in, so it's just crazy. It's one of the reasons that Justin Olson wanted to go in this afternoon, just to see who's going to call and see what kind of interest you have. And that changes with all the guys. Some of the guys have been disappointed because they were so highly recruited in high school, and they're not as recruited in the portal, so their options aren't as good. So it's a learning process for all of us.
Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics.
Heading towards the finish line here on the show, let's talk a little women's basketball. Tar Heels picked up a couple of really quality wins after a tough start in ACC play Tar Heels came back home last weekend and picked up a big victory by 10 over number 4 Notre Dame. Tar Heel defense, they went to a zone that really slowed the Irish down. Followed that up with a quality road win over a much improved Virginia team. Carolina was trailing in the fourth quarter and then went on a big run to close the game to pick up the 70-59 win. We're going to see highlights of both of those in just a moment, but we're going to start with you hearing from one of the Tar Heel veterans. That's Eva Hodgkin, transferred from William & Mary to Carolina, and she is taking control of one of the leadership roles both on and off the court. Let's hear from Eva and then see some highlights of a couple Tar Heel wins.
My name is Eva Hodgson. My position is point guard or shooting guard or whatever you need me to be. My year is 5th year on the court, but 2nd year in the MBA program, and I'm from Rindge, New Hampshire. I started playing basketball when I probably was in 4th grade or 5th grade competitively, but I have 4 older brothers, and so the nature of basketball was kind of just in our household all the time, and both my parents actually played in college as well. Part of the reason why I wanted to play a sport in college was to help pay for it. With 7 kids, my parents just couldn't cover all of our colleges. For me, that was a big motivation. One of the proudest moments being at UNC.
Option, there's 1,000.
One that comes to mind is my 1,000th point last year. Not even so much because it was the 1,000th point that I scored, but because of how much my teammates just surrounded me and loved me. It's something that will last the rest of my life. I can tell people from the minute I stepped on campus last year that I was a Tar Heel. Now looking back, it was all like everything aligns perfectly, because if I didn't go to William & Mary, I would have never been here. And it's really cool to see the pieces and God working in my life to make sure that everything happened the way it did for me to be where I am. And I'm just thrilled to be here.
There wasn't much of a window to get that pass inside. Usby up and over Westbeld. Citron in some trouble, taken away by Hodgson. Well, that was a tough place to get the ball. Todd Williams step back, good! And we're looking, but this has got to be amongst the lowest point productions for the Irish in a quarter all season. Usby wanting a couple more, gets them! Tar Heel legend joining our broadcast crew in studio. One of the most fun players in the history of the ACC. As Paris knocks down the triple for North Carolina. That's their 2nd 3 in the game. Bransford had the ball tipped away. Usby Kelly on the break for the Tar Heels. There's North Carolina's first points of the quarter. Todd Williams playing with 3 fouls to Kelly. It bounces in. Maybe it did get her going. Good relocation by Mabry, though, off the penetration inside. Adams to Usby, through everybody to tie it up. Adams. Tar Heels have made the last 5. Citron with just 1 basket. Usby wants the 3 and gets it. That is in rhythm. Mismatch with Ebo. Harris knew it, drained it. This zone has made Notre Dame hesitate. And there's Usby ahead of the ball. Harris wants another. Tar Heels pick up ACC win number 1 of this season.
More players streaking down. Paulina Paris will pull it out. The 3 is up and in. Back up to Kelly, pull-up jumper from the elbow. Wow, what a shot. The Heels will grab the board, down 2, into the corner. Shot is up and in with the foul. It is a 4-point play opportunity. Coach Mox imploring her team to get their hands up. Kick to the corner. The 3 is up and in. Nothing but net. 42-34, 5:16 remaining. The 3 is up and in for Kennedy Todd Williams, in which they only posted 7 total points.
I was just about to say it. Deja Kelly heading to the lane, tears things around. In this quarter, they're shooting 66+% from deep.
Both teams shooting a square 34% from the field.
game after game. Comes with the mistake there, but it's all about reps. And she's the one that's leading their charge to extend this lead.
Valladay caught in the trap, and a smart move there by Taylor to let that layup go in uncontested, driving the baseline. There's the kick, swinging it around. Paulina Paris, the three is up and in.
Shooters shoot. It was only a matter of time before Paulina, and then they get another one.
Another Virginia turnover leads to a UNC transition bucket, down 7.
That'll do it for us today on the show. We have another busy one coming next week. 2 big home games for Carolina this week. Starts Tuesday against Boston College. Then the Tar Heels host NC State, who's having a terrific season to this point, coming off a big win over a ranked Miami team this weekend. We'll have highlights of those games and more next week on the Carolina Insider.
Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer, proud partner of Carolina Athletics. The 2022 Ford F-150, a tradition of excellence. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer today. Carolina Insider is produced by Go Heels Productions for Tar Heel Sports Properties, a property of Learfield.